Go.
Derek, what's up, man? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Life is good. Life was good. How was your weekend?
Uh, it was uh, it was busy.
Okay. What is it that you speak about?
I speak about communication. I think it's called Communication Toolbox. I speak about communication. I speak about interviewing, and usually like goal setting and goal realization. Not in a personal sense, in a company or team setting.
Okay, cool. And are you a full-time speaker, part-time speaker?
No, I'm more a wannabe speaker in that most of these things I've done are for the companies I've worked for. A couple things for like chambers of commerce and but not on a regular basis. And I am looking to do more.
No, that's cool. And a lot of speakers they usually like their full-time job and they're not planning to leave that full-time job. So I was just trying to understand from what context you were making the decision to start sharing your message more.
Yep. Yeah, well, I'm currently my job was eliminated about 2.5 months ago. So I'm taking the opportunity to to like invest more time in the things I really want to be doing later on in life.
And do you offer any consulting or training or anything other than just speaking from the stage?
I mean I haven't yet. I'd like to. I just haven't gotten that far. Haven't gotten that far in it.
Okay. And see, do you know what, like for like full-time speakers, do you know what percentage of their income comes from the stage versus other products and consulting?
I have no idea.
It's about 20 to 30%,
Okay.
right? So that consulting and having other product lines that still share your philosophies and your intellectual property is a really big deal,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because your core message is your message, but how people experience it, to limit that to maybe a 30-minute speech. Like if you ask me, Ron, can you tell me in 30 minutes how I can get booked on stages? Sure. The person who listens to that and the person that works for me for 30 days,
Right.
totally different results, right?
Yep.
So, be looking at that. If this is something you want to do long term, you have to think of it more as a business,
Yeah.
and having higher priced products.
And that is exactly how I would approach it. I mean, I come from my passion is operations, and all of the training and speaking I've done have been in service of, of developing or changing the culture and behaviors in the workplace. And so, I don't. I would get a lot more satisfaction from, actually like helping a company or a person, see the results of what I'm speaking about, um, and the front lines than just speaking and walking off the stage.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I think that makes a lot of sense. So I like to use this as an example because I think people kind of don't think of it that way. So since you're the only person here, I'm going to do a little bit of consulting with you. So, everyone else can enjoy this, but I'm just going to, kind of think of it from this perspective. So this book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, came out a long time ago,
Yep.
right? And I mean, it was first published in 1989. So roughly 35 years ago,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? But they have the Franklin Covey Academy, which offers a lot of different programs on those principle-centered leadership and productivity edge, all based around that same book,
Yep. Yep.
right? But then they've developed some courses that go along with it, right? So there's the Seven Habits course, the Five Choices course, Speed of Trust, Four Essential Roles, Four Disciplines, Unconscious Bias. So they built these trainings around that. right? And they've delivered those trainings to 300,000 managers, 60 million copies of the book, 150 countries, 80% of Fortune 500 have worked with this, have purchased some form of their training. Now, you know why this is amazing? You got kids?
Yep.
How old are they?
18 and 17 and 14. Yeah, like here's my copy.
Yep. And most people don't know this, but Stephen Covey died in a cycling accident in 2012. Right?
Yeah.
But his intellectual property lives on because he made it in perpetuity, right? Where it can be used forever and ever. They can build on top of it. It was the foundation. A lot of speakers just have their speech, right? There's nothing after that. Once that speech is heard, they haven't built any IP on top of that. This is the true future of what we're doing at SpeakerHUB. Like, hey, if your message is that good that people are paying you $5, $10, $15, $20,000 to hear it once, why isn't there other versions of it that they can pay more on a more narrow scale and less on a more broader scale to get that same paradigm shift that you're providing to them, right? And it just takes a little bit of time and discipline to do it. And I'm talking to everyone who may listen to this.
Yeah.
That it's really an investment in an asset, right? It's like building any other business. The only difference is, when we think of this song here, right? Right. Right. I mean, this kid was a kid. Oh, baby, give me one more chance. I want you back, right? 70 years ago, right? 70 years ago, this was recorded, right? This was, long time ago, that song, right? And that was on 1969 is when that was recorded. So what's that? 55 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, it's still playing today. Even though Michael Jackson and his brothers, a lot of them aren't even alive anymore. Right? So we have to start thinking of ourselves as asset producing thought leaders, not just a speaker. It's so limiting, That's my TED talk.
Yep, agreed.
Is that fair? Well, so
Yeah.
how can I help you?
Well, tell me more about yourself and how you got to where you are and what you do. I didn't. When I signed up for this, I didn't really understand what the format was or realize that.
Yep. Yeah, it's just a daily Q&A that we do. It's every day. We're on for an hour. Anybody can hop in, ask whatever questions they want, get whatever help they want. We don't charge anything for it, no matter whether you're a paid SpeakerHUB customer or a free SpeakerHUB customer, right? So our job is to help more speakers get on more stages. And if they want to do it with us, high five. If they don't, high five. Go find some place that works better for you, right? But my background is as a financial advisor. So I spent most of my life on the phone making cold calls, getting hung up on, right? And then I learned about something called cold email in 2012 when I left the financial services business. And I started working as a growth hacker for software companies. And with those software companies, I learned that, I can reach out to people, get them to respond to me, and I don't have to worry about people hanging up on me or cursing me out. Like, cool, I want to do that. Like, I don't want to be cursed out.
Yeah.
So as I started to do that, Ange actually, she knew what I was doing, and she was a John Maxwell speaker, and she said, hey, you think you can help me you can help Maxwell speakers to get more speaking gigs. I'm like, can't get you the gig, but I can get you the meeting. So I met with one of the top John Maxwell reps by the name of Chris Robinson, who happened to live in St. Louis. This was in 2018. He's like, dude, if you can solve this, I think you should, if you really can do what you say you can do, I think you should build this business around it. And so I got started booking speakers. Well, booking them with the meetings.
Right.
And then from that, you know, we built software around it. We built an agency. Ange actually ran a booking agency for a while before she came on with operations with us. And that's my background. So I've worked with, I don't know, probably 1,000 speakers as their outbound booking agent. I've interviewed over 4,000 speakers over the last few years, and we set over 10,000 meetings with meeting planners, podcasters, and press. So that's my background. And then we bought SpeakerHUB, right? Nicole, they're working on your account. We can't figure out why your account is so screwed up. But what we may end up doing is just deleting it and giving you a fresh one. But I sent a video this morning again to Ezekiel, who was on the call with us, to try to get that resolved. Cool. Just want to make sure you know that we're not leaving you out, but she has it's some bug in the AI for her system. But does that give you a little bit of background, Derek?
Yeah. That's super useful.
So we eventually developed. Hey, Christine, nice meeting you. We eventually developed a framework called the Speaker Flywheel, and the Speaker Flywheel is the real backbone of everything we do at SpeakerHUB. And I'm going to walk you through that really quickly because I think it's really important. So the Speaker Flywheel basically consists of two external parts. Actually, let me bring it up in Canva because I can explain it better from there. But yeah, the Speaker Flywheel is what I believe is the difference between those speakers that get booked all the time and those that don't, right? And let me see. Ange, do you have the summit slides? Oh, I got it. I got them here. Yeah, here it is here. Perfect. So the flywheel is what I've learned from working with a bunch of speakers, that helps them to get booked. And in implementing this, there were basically 4 principles that they lived by. One was they proactively reached out to the stages they wanted to be on. They weren't waiting on people to come to them, right? Mm-hmm. The second thing is that they use smaller stages to get booked on bigger stages. So if they were just starting out, they would go on a bunch of podcasts, and then they would use those podcasts to turn into small gigs. And they would record video of themselves at the smaller gigs to use in their speaker reel to try to get the larger conferences, right? And they just kept doing that until they got on bigger and bigger stages.
Yeah.
Because you have to be marketing and selling for the rest of your business, right? Imagine if McDonald's stopped running commercials. Well, we're McDonald's. We don't need to run commercials. Okay. You will lose to Burger King, who's running commercials, because people don't need to be taught as much as they need to be reminded, right? So you're constantly building a business, reminding people that you're available to give those speeches. And then they learn to give profitable free speeches, which means that they may not have gotten paid to show up, but they got paid through consulting gigs from people in the audience, or people may have heard them on a podcast and bought their products afterwards, right? So it was a free speech where they didn't get paid to show up, but they made money in other ways, and that's how they were able to generate, awareness and business for what they were doing. And then the fourth thing that they did, they invested in the right tool sets, right? They weren't out like trying to Google and do all of that stuff. They were like, dude, this company already has the data, we'll just buy the data. Or if this company already has the way to do it, we'll just use it. So when they put those things into play, it turned out to be this. They set up their inbound, whether they set up their LinkedIn or their speaker profile with SpeakerHUB, so that people could find them. Right now, if I typed in Derek Miller, would people find Derek Miller, the speaker, or would they find the 130 other people who may have the same name, right? So let's do it, right? When we type that in, this doesn't look like you. Right? That's not you. That's not you. That's not you. Right? So there's a whole bunch of other people that are Derek Millers, right? But when we type in Derek Miller speaker, because that's what we're looking for, since we know you're not the singer, well, what comes up? And is this you here? No, that looks like Charles Magistrelis, because that's in Spanish, right? So, but you can see you need to set up your inbound so that they can find you when they type in Derek speaker. Is that fair? Right? So that's what we're referring to when we're saying you got to have your inbound good so that people can find you. If they can't find you, they can't book you. The second part of it is what we call outbound. This is where you're reaching out to people, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's via email, whether it's filling out applications for events. That's what this is, right? But guess what they're going to do? They're going to click on your link to your website to see if you are who you say you are. They're going to want to listen to some podcasts to see, does this guy really know what he's talking about? Right. So I'm a firm believer in podcasts. We got over 3,000 people to pay us for our other software just by me going on podcasts. And I do so much that Google even puts podcasts when you search my name. Like, you just want to hear this dude on a podcast, right? So they highlight that because that's what I'm known for being on. You click on videos, you're going to see me on different podcasts talking about pitching and things of that sort, right? How do you build a business, so forth and so on, right? So I need to be Googleable. Even though I'm doing outbound, people want to confirm that they're talking to me or that they're learning about me. Is that fair? But once you figured out your inbound and outbound, there are these 4 different types of opportunities: podcasts, associations, conferences, and media outlets. And you can, like I said, use the podcast to get the bigger gigs. If you've been on Joe Rogan, you probably won't have a problem getting a conference. If you've been on some of the top industry specific podcasts, you probably won't have a problem at least getting their attention for your conference application, right? Because a lot of the people who are making the decisions at these associations and these conferences, they've never been on those podcasts. So they respect anybody that has some type of notoriety. Yes, podcasts don't pay. I know that's one of the questions. Oh, well, podcasts don't pay for you to come on. Yeah, they don't pay you directly, but I can show you how they pay you indirectly. When I come over here into my messages and I type in YouTube, Dennis Esteban, hey, I found you on YouTube. Do you offer consulting? That's from one of those podcasts. Claudine, hey, I hope you're doing great. I saw you on YouTube, right? So when people tell me podcasting don't work, I'm like, no, you just don't know what you're doing. We can help you with that. We can show you how to make it work, right? I mean, that's what all of these are. These are just people that reach out to me. I can pick them in random. Saw you on YouTube about getting speaking gigs. Jonathan Bird, same thing. Hey, I saw your interview on YouTube. So I know podcasting works. We built an entire business around that. We've never run any ads. So that's why the flywheel is so important, because you can get clients out of it. But then when you go speak at the local associations, they want you, you're in front of the executives. So those executives will bring you into their companies to do different things. Most association gigs are usually low paying up front, but they're high paying in the contracts that you can get from those individuals. If you speak at enough associations, it's a lot easier to get the national conference gig, because when they ask for recommendations, they will recommend you to the national conference on top of your normal application, right? And then media outlets, that's one of my favorites, where we run a PR company called PR Pitches, where all we do is teach people how to get on different stages, different publications. And in this members group, this is what we're showing everything. We're bringing in people, the agreements, contract finalized for Business Insider article yesterday, received a no for a pitch on Oprah Daily today, all in a day's work. So we believe in pitching. If you don't believe in outbound to grow your business, SpeakerHUB is not going to be for you, right? Because we don't know any other way to do it, right? So we speak very certain about the things that we do because we've gotten the results, right? So this is what this group is about. It's just us pitching more people, and Kareem Lupini still seeking pitches for this, right? So we know the editors, we know what they're looking for, and we know that they pay. So you can get $1 to $2 a word for every article that you write. So this is what we're doing. This is what we do, Derek. So hopefully this makes sense. I know it's a good 10 minutes of me explaining it, but this is the paradigm that we take new speakers and start getting them on stages and getting them paid for their thought leadership.
Got it. Ron, I'm curious, do you provide, the product, right, and the presentation have to be worthy of being up on stage. Do you provide any evaluation or advice on ensuring that the actual presentation is gonna be successful and get that follow-up context?
At this point, we don't, because that's not our specialty, right? So I would love to be able to say, hey, we can take a nobody and make them Les Brown or make them Stephen Covey, right? But I think anybody who would make that promise is lying to you, right? They'll sell you the $30,000 course, but they can't really deliver the gig, right? So what we've learned is we're very good at this one part. So we should just stick in the lane that we're good at, which is helping you to get booked. Now, how do you get better? More time on stage, right? That speaker flywheel thing that I just walked through, I'm going to ask you a very simple question. Did it feel like that was my first time presenting that?
No.
Yeah, because I do it every single day, 20 times a day, right? With no shame and no pay. People ask, why do you get on phone calls for people? You sell a $19 a month thing, because I need to get better. Who cares about the $19? I need to get better, right? So it's just the repetition of getting better, and then you'll know yourself. We all know whether we're good or not. Like, I mean, if you ever played sports, if you were on the bench, you knew why you were on the bench, because you knew the dude that was in front of you was better than you. You knew it. You didn't want to admit it, but you knew that dude was better than you, right? You were on the team, but you knew you needed to put in some extra work if you were going to beat him. And that's just the reality of life. I mean, if you're going to be going against Nicole and Lethea and Christine and Antoinette, the problem is that you don't know how hard they're working, right? And they don't know how hard you're working either. Right. So it's in everybody's best interest that all of you all work your asses off to get better so that you can win the gig if you happen to be competing against each other, right? So, but short story, no, we don't provide that. But what we can provide you is more podcasts to get on to strengthen that message, more smaller stages to get on to get more feedback from a live audience. See, my feedback on your topic doesn't matter. It's your audience's feedback on your topic that matters the most. So go get in front of them and let them boo you. Go get booed. Go in that thing. You see people in there sleeping. You'll learn real quick. Let me tighten this up.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yep.
So Antoinette, good to see you. Lethea, glad you joined us. Any other questions from anyone else? But that's the flywheel, Derek. That's what we teach. That's what we believe. That's what we live by, and we want everybody using it. Christine, any questions, comments? Nicole, I saw you on mute.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to find out more information about writing the articles. I was intrigued by that the last time we spoke.
Yep. So actually, with PR pitches, I'll get you in the group. I'll have Kamanzi let you in, because what happens is that a bunch of SpeakerHUB people go over there to the group, and he's like, dude, why are you sending all these SpeakerHUB people over here? they're not buying PR pitches, they're paying over at SpeakerHUB, and it kind of messes up our accounting a bit. But we figured that out. We worked that out this weekend. Kamanzi and I are 50% partners in the PR business. He runs it. And, so we worked that out. I'll get you added over there. I just have to send them a list of people that are from SpeakerHUB so that since it's a Facebook group, a lot of random people try to join. And it's a paid group. So if you're not a PR Pitches paid customer, you can't get in. But if you're from SpeakerHUB, I can get you in. I'll add you. I'm actually an admin, so I'll get you added. Or Ange, I'll get Kamanzi to make you an admin in the group. That way you can add our people.
Okay, perfect.
Yep, Lethea, we got you. We got you. Christine, any other questions?
I don't know how I got here.
Okay.
I
Do you
think
have
I
a
was
SpeakerHUB
looking at
account?
my email, and I think I clicked a link, and I think I went to LinkedIn, and then I think I clicked another link. It said Zoom, and I said, why not? So here,
Okay. Are you a speaker?
yes-ish. I've done some podcasts and spoken a couple of places. I published a book last year, and then I published it it came out August, and I was just building some momentum, and then I had some health issues and really kind of went. So now I'm figuring out how to start up again and get out there again.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Do you mind? You mind talking about it or no?
No, I don't mind.
So what are your goals? Is it to be a full-time speaker, or is it to be keep your main job but you're gonna be a speaker on the side?
Oh, wow. I guess I should be able to answer that question if I'm going to do anything. I'm recently retired. And so writing the book was my first, big project that I did. And I also developed an app to support the book. So I have that out there too. And my marketing, I thought I was sort of a marketing person, but apparently I am not. But I think they all go together. The speaking and getting out there, I would say supports some of these other things that I'm doing.
Yep. No, that's cool. So let me repeat to you what I heard. Right. I heard that you're retired and this is a passion project that you love, that you're not trying to get unretired, but you want to get the message out there and help people with what you've created.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So here's how I would approach it. I would start by getting on podcasts. Why? Because you don't have to leave your house to do it. And you can be on 5 a day and you can do 4 interviews a day from your house and impact thousands of people with your message. Right. And never leave. And if you have an app or a book or some type of training, you would make more money than most speakers just doing podcasts. How? Because I did it. I built an entire company with me just going on podcasts. I live in South America. I was not going to fly to the States to do a $2,000 speaking gig. 14 hours to get $2,000. Nope, I'll stay home. Right? Because I would rather just go on the podcast to do it, because the cost of flying in would be too expensive. So we just did podcasts the whole time. Podcasts, Facebook Lives, Instagram Lives, LinkedIn Lives. Why? Because I didn't want to leave, right? So I would start there. And then that momentum, you'll start finding people will start, hey, can you come talk at my thing? Hey, I'm doing a group. I'm doing a summit. Can you talk at my virtual summit? And then it just builds momentum because the activity is going. Right. But if you're just doing one podcast every quarter, imagine if I went to the gym and I hopped on the treadmill for 30 seconds and I said, okay, I'm good. I'm coming back tomorrow. Like, you're like, dude, you didn't even get to sweat. Like, what are you doing? Right. Or I'm gonna do one curl. Okay, cool. Like, I'm not gonna lose weight. I'm not gonna get any stronger. All I'm gonna do is lie to myself saying I went to the gym that day. Going to the gym does not change who you are. It's going to the gym and working out consistently that
Right.
changes body composition. In the same way, getting on one podcast is not going to make or break your career. It's getting on podcasts consistently that generates the momentum and the trust from the audience, believe that they should buy from you. So that's why I would
I
start.
do have a follow-up question to that.
Yep.
I've been on probably a dozen podcasts so far, but I
Yep.
haven't really done anything with that. I haven't collected any of the videos, or I haven't done really much to promote it.
Mhm.
How do I do that? Do I contact the
I
folks
got you.
that I've been on the podcast and ask them for that?
Yep. So a couple of things you can do. I'm going to show you. So with the SpeakerHUB Pro account, a couple of things. I'll give you without SpeakerHUB, right? You can go to Listen Notes, right? And your name is unique enough that we can type in Christine Sposato and hit enter. And just by doing that search, it's going to ask me to confirm I'm not a robot. Just by doing that search, it's going to bring up every episode you've ever been on. You see that?
Yeah.
Right? And now I got them all. I think you said you've been on how many? It has 36.
Okay. And some of these are mine. I have my own podcast.
Yep. But that's okay. But this one isn't.
Right.
This one isn't.
No.
That one isn't. That one isn't.
Right.
That one is. Right?
Uh,
But as we keep going, it'll
Yeah.
probably bring up some your episodes. Okay, so most of them are your episodes, right? But the first
Right.
5 weren't, right? So
Right.
all you do is if you click export results, it'll export those.
Oh, wow.
Does that make sense? So you
Yeah.
can follow up with those people. That's one easy way to do this,
Thank
right?
you.
So that doesn't require you to have a SpeakerHUB account at all. Leethia, I'm going to get to your question in one moment, right? But what you can do with SpeakerHUB Pro is you can log into the new SpeakerHUB, and I'm going to show you one moment. So once I get logged in here, I can just follow up with those folks and say, hey, I would love to come back on. I was on 2 years ago. Would love to come back on and kind of update you on what we're doing,
Great.
right? I don't know why this isn't letting me in. Maybe they're doing something to it in the background. This is weird.
Does that include radio shows too, or
Yep.
just
Yeah, we have
podcasts?
radio also. We have radio and podcast and television in our database. You can reach out to whomever you would like.
Okay.
All right. So, all right, what is this thing doing? Okay, here we go. So if I come in here and let's say I want to search for a podcast that I've been on, Ron Story, right? I hit search, go to episodes, and it's bringing up all the ones that I've gone on, right? And then I can click here. I can listen to it to make sure, like, oh yeah, I remember that. And then I can follow back up with Elena and say, hey, Elena, I would love to come back on. I was on the show January of 2023, right?
Great.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you asked about radio. You come here, you click on radio. What city are you in? What
What?
city are you in? What
Oh,
city?
I'm not. I live in Western Colorado, rural
Okay.
Colorado.
Okay, so let's say you wanted to go on radio in Denver,
Okay.
right? So we click on there, it brings up all the 8 stations in Denver that we have the contact information for, and you can reach
Whoa.
out to them, right?
I
You
love
wanna,
that.
you want to go to Denver Television? We give you all the TV stations, the
Yeah.
producers. You can reach out to them directly and pitch.
That is very handy.
Yep, we made it easy. Newspapers, We got the Denver Post,
Yeah.
right? Makes sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Cool. Lethea, what's up?
Hey, everyone. Ron, I actually have a couple of um, system requests for you to put in your back pocket, and they may already be on your roadmap, or they may be something you've already said you're not going to do. But can I share
Nope,
those?
we're not doing them. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, so the first one is, this is real minor, and I can't remember the guy's name, but you're an amazing developer. So when I do a pitch, I did 49 pitches over the weekend, and when I do a pitch, it takes me to the sent pitches page, and I got to go back to new, and it's just kind of tedious. If
Yeah,
after I do a
so-
pitch, if we could just keep me there, so I can
Okay,
just-
so let me give you the workaround for that.
Okay,
All right. So open up your page. Go ahead and
Okay.
share your screen with me.
okay, here.
Because that's done like that on purpose, but there's
Okay.
an order of pitching that's done wrong. Right. So
Okay.
go ahead and share your screen. That's a good question. This is something we thought long and hard about and we thought about, and then I said, this is how it's gonna be. And so let's not go there, right? So let's say you want to pitch a podcast or a conference or an association, right? So let's say, for instance, scroll down a bit.
Go to
You can pick
podcast.
anyone and click on that reality-based leadership, add it to a list, hit save, and just pitch from here. Why go into the inbox?
Because I went and reviewed all the ones I wanted to pitch,
Yeah,
and
but click on the name of it,
Mhm.
review it right there, make a decision, pitch. Do you see what I mean? Putting it in that inbox, it causes too much issue, right? Because the pitch was sent. And some people say, well, when I sent it, but I'm still in the same thing. Why can't I see what I sent? So it's like some people wanted to go to the sent box, some people wanted to stay in the list. And we're like, well, if they just pitch from here, it eliminates all of that.
Okay. I was basically going through adding them all to the list.
No,
And
pitch one at a time, pitch. Because
Okay.
what we end up with a bunch of people with a bunch of lists that they never send pitches to.
Hmm.
Right?
Okay.
It's a behavioral thing that we thought about, and there's no right or wrong way, but we have to just stick with one. And this is the one that we stuck with, which is because you didn't used to be able to pitch from the search results.
Mhm.
You had to just add them to the list to begin with,
Right.
and then everybody went to the inbox. And then people would build these lists. They would say, "Man, I forgot what that was about." And I'm like, "Dude, why are you in the moment? You're excited. Send it."
So if I wanted to take this one off, do I go to pitches to remove it from the
Yep.
list?
You go to
Okay.
pitches, and you can only remove things that you haven't sent a pitch to. So if you highlight that, click on it and click delete.
Okay.
But if you've sent them an email,
Right.
you can't delete them because we need to track you can archive it, but you can't delete it. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yep. Then my second question is, when in doing my pitches, I've noticed that there are certain phrases that keep coming up because AI is helping us. And I don't feel like I'm able to train AI because it keeps using that same phrase. I'm like, that's not my language. So I go and I change it. I would love for it, under the branding kit, it would be great if I had a section where I could put in just a paragraph that would be added to the prompt that you send to AI that says, my tone is my, I don't like when it says it's not just a blank, it's a blank, or it's more than a blank, it's a blank. And it keeps saying, I am keen on, and I would never use those words. So I would love to be able to just say, never use the phrase I am keen on. Instead of I am Lethea Owens, I like it to be a little bit more conversational to say, hi, I apostrophe M. I'm Lethea Owens. So I have to go in, and the content that AI is providing is really, really strong. But I'm having to make these very small, tedious changes each time because it's not learning that I'm, making these changes. It would be great if I could just, put in a little prompt addition or something that gets appended to the bottom of the prompt that you send into AI to help give me back something that's more in alignment with what I would need. Like I could say, always include this sentence as the last line. You know, right now I
Right.
put it in my signature because I want that last line in there. But so it's always going to be there. But it would be great if I could, in the prompt, say, hey, always close my pitch with this sentence or something like that.
Yep. No, I think that those are great suggestions, and those are things that we've considered a lot of different ways to improve the AI. I think those are things that we'll probably address sometime in the next 6 months.
Okay.
Because one of the biggest things right now is just getting people to send the pitch, right? I've sent hundreds of thousands of pitches, and I've never gotten a reply back saying, "Man, you know what? You use Keen." Nah, we ain't picking you.
Branding girl. I'm a branding girl. So
I understand, but we're trying to get, we need you. I guarantee you, if you send more, you won't even worry about that time that it was saying King, because that person only heard that from you, right? It's not like every pitch is written different for the person. So everybody isn't sending the same templates, right?
But it kept, so my concern was it kept using it for me. So my concern is it's using it for other
No, it's
SpeakerHUB
not.
clients as well.
Because people choose different voices and they choose different things, right? So there's enough personalization there. I understand what you're saying, right? But I think that here's the thing we've done bad in the past. We made this stuff look too easy. Like, we made it look so simple. And we're like, nah, this stuff is really hard to figure out, like the AI part. And I'm like, okay, if I say, oh yeah, that'll be great. You know what I'm gonna get? I'm gonna get an email next week saying, is it live yet? And I'm like, no, it's gonna take like 9 months to fix that. But they be like, if you say yes, they're like, well, you said you was gonna do it. Where is it next week? I'm like, have you ever tried to code this stuff? It doesn't work that way. So
I'm a developer, so I know.
yeah.
I'm a developer, so I get it.
So June of next year, we might have that. June of 2026, we might be closer to it. But we're working on it. We're taking all ideas. I always want you to submit your ideas and for consideration, because everything that you see inside of SpeakerHUB, yeah, just like you just did.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I'm the head of product, so I get all of those things and I put them in. You can always email to support. They'll get it over to the dev team also, which means it's going to come back to me for my approval if we should go forward on it. But everything that you see inside of SpeakerHUB was built by you guys. It was built because of your feedback and those types of comments. So we don't take those lightly. I make a lot of jokes because I have to set the expectation that it won't be in tomorrow.
Right.
I'll give you a great example. Robert Kennedy had a great suggestion for us. He was like, hey, the title, the subject lines are like very similar and they're not what I would say. Can you give us like 3 to 4 different options on subject lines? He gave me that suggestion in September. We built that. My OpenAI build went up 5 times. Huh?
Mine isn't giving me subject lines. I had to.
I know. That's why we turned it off. It was doing it for like a month. And my OpenAI bill went up 5x. And I said, oh, we can't do this.
Because the subject line giving different variations.
Yeah, because it has to keep writing it. It rewrites it 5 times. And I'm like, wait, each email is costing us 5x? Heck no, we're not doing this. Right? Like, heck no. So we turned that off. We said they write their own emails. They can write their own document.
Yeah. I have a document from my team that if it's going to a person, use one of these subjects. If it's going to an organization, you don't know who it is, use one of these. So yeah.
Exactly. Because I mean, we've done 90% of the work. But like, dude, they can't write 5 words for a subject line. Come on. Right? We eliminated the entire thing. We created a signature form. We did all of these things. And cool, go somewhere else. Right? That's like my default answer is fine. It's not for them. Right. But in reality, I shouldn't have that attitude. But that's how I feel sometimes. Because okay, no. Next. I think Nicole had another question too. Go ahead.
And then we can get to Nicole. So I want to show you an issue that I have. So I had to turn off my picture, which I really want my picture in there. Why don't you ask Nicole so I can bring this up?
Perfect.
I don't have it ready.
Nicole Van Valen.
I don't have a question anymore.
Okay, all right. Antoinette, what up? How you doing down there?
Good morning. I'm a newbie, watching in my house from my hospital bed, so I'm not on camera. So I'm just listening and learning.
What did you say? You were a new mom?
No, I
Oh,
said I'm listening from a hospital bed.
okay. Gotcha. Hopefully you feel better, you know. A lot of
Thank
prayers to
you.
you. We want you to, you know, we had a Dr. Sharon was kind of bedridden 2 weeks ago or a week ago for like 3 days straight. The next day she was in her office. So these speaker prayers work. So we gonna pray for you
Well,
too.
I definitely believe that, so I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem. You're always welcome. Prayers are free over at SpeakerHUB. You know, we give them a lot of them away for free. So Lethea, what up?
Um, I am still trying. It won't. I'm trying to bring it up, so you can take the next person.
Okay, so let me give you a history on the photos, right? The ability to put a photo in your signature was just made live last Monday, right? So before we didn't even allow you to put a photo in there, right? So now we're adding photos and it still ain't good enough. You see how this works? No, just kidding.
Yep, that's how we are. That's how we are. We want the world.
No, but whenever you find out what you're trying to do, let us know.
Okay.
But right now, you have to use whatever photo you uploaded. So whichever photo you uploaded for your profile, that is the photo that will go out. And we
Okay.
do that on purpose. And that prevents people from uploading obscene photos. So we're like, you want to send this photo to everybody with your name on it? Go ahead, upload it. You know? So any other questions, comments? Christine, was that helpful what I explained about going on more podcasts and being able to do that? Perfect. Elaine, what's up? Good to see you.
Hi everyone. I was doing my branding kit, and my audience is it's stumping me because it seems to keep on creating something around individuals, i.e. for coaching, and then I do the fill with the writer, and it just creates this whole, it
Okay.
fills in all these different things for job
Can you bring it
titles.
up?
Yeah, sure. Let me share.
And some of the things in the branding kit are going under a revamp right now. Right.
Okay,
So let's go.
I think
So
originally it had professional there, and
right. So a lot of this right now is based on if you go back, scroll up a bit and go back, click on branding kit. Yep. Go back to my brand and then go down to the description, which is under topics. Keep going right there. Right. So
yeah, I say about organizations and teams, but I don't really say about coaching individuals. I don't really want to do coaching.
okay. All right.
I mean, I'll
Yeah.
have
So
it in my profile. I can take it off here
yeah, I would take that off then.
if that's kind of.
Yep. I would remove that and go back up to the description again, where it says Elaine is known as a thought leader. Through her think methodology, she aims to equip organizations, teams, members, and employees. Yep. Okay. All right. And cool. So here's the one thing that's probably not clearly communicated with the public, and we're working on this. When you go back to branding kit, the only thing that's used in the only thing that's used in the matching, if you click there, is the my brand section. The audience and the goals and the templates are for your personal use. You'll be surprised how many people have no idea who they should be going after, right? So you can take all that out and put your real audience in, but it's just based on what you're doing. we're trying to give the speaker a little bit more marketing consulting for free because so many speakers don't know who their audience is for their books, for their courses, for their topics. So that my audience is just us saying, hey, here's who we think you should go after with this topic. It's not saying we're going to use that to match you with other people. It's to help you to think through who you should be going after. Does that make sense?
It does, but you've got like a pencil here and I can't click in
No,
that.
you can just click in and change it. You don't have to click the pencil.
Oh, okay.
That just shows that it's editable. We put that pencil to show that it's editable.
Okay. So I just put whatever I put there.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, this is for you. It's not used in the evaluation or the matching to anything. It's just for you to understand who your audience is. Again, a lot of our speakers are brand new. And we ask that question at the beginning, tell us what you do in 2 sentences. And they struggle with it.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if this was going to show up, you know.
No,
flying
nothing. No, when you
anywhere.
click on my expert, when you click on experts on the left, but whenever you click on experts, we only show your bio. We don't put any of this stuff in there. So click on Debbie Weiss's name there. And you see it gives a description of who she works with. And then that audience is there, but that's where you can edit it. But it's not used in the matching. So you can edit it if it doesn't fit. Because it's
Okay.
letting the world know, hey, if you have this group, call me.
Okay, so it does show in the
Yeah, it
expert.
shows there, but it's not used in the matching. That's why I was saying you can edit it however you want. The problem is that most speakers don't know who their audience is. So we have to generate that so that that section isn't blank.
Yeah. Okay, I'll create my own then.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
So yeah, the goal, let me kind of bring up why we do AI, right? So this is why we do AI. Right? When you go to the store and you buy a shortcake, it don't look like this. It's just that little pancake looking thing. Right? This is what it looked like at the store. It looked like these things. But it's not finished until you put the whipped cream, the cherries, the little bit of drizzle, and then it looks like this thing. Well, the AI is really just this. It's to put something on your plate. It's up to you to dress it up and put the strawberries and all of that stuff on it so that it looks good and it's the way you want it. We just got tired of seeing a bunch of empty plates, right? When we look at the normal SpeakerHUB, we have 62,000 people that use it. About 10,000 of them are at less than 50% completion of their profile because they don't know what to say and they want it to be perfect. Right? So we're just trying to close that gap a bit to give them something to work with versus having writer's block. You know, it's called SpeakerHUB, not WriterHub, but we ask you to write all this stuff. And we're like, well, how do we kind of assist? Is that helpful?
Yeah, thank you.
So the AI is just there as a base for you to build upon. Lethea, do you have another question?
Yes, I'm ready. So I'm gonna share my screen for a second. So this is the signature that I've created.
Yep.
And when I actually look at the email, let me do another share. This
Yeah, we can
is
still see your screen already, right?
okay. This is what goes out. So that
The photo needs to be sized down to 1:1. We can do that immediately.
okay.
So wait, leave this up. Scroll up a little bit. Scroll up just a little bit. All right. Yeah, we need to do a photo sizing. That needs to be sized all the way down.
Right. Because
Okay,
it looked
all right.
fine. It looked fine in the actual, the pitch. Like it looks fine here when it added it to the signature, but when the
Yep.
email actually went out, it blew it up.
Yep. I got it. That's an easy hot fix we can do today.
Okay.
Ron, also, can I add to that? So I had my logos on my signature and it did the same thing with the logo. So I just ended up
Yep.
screenshotting it and putting a copy there, but then people can't click on my logo to get.
Yeah, so here's what we want to do. Here's the one thing that we have to watch out for. Once you start adding all of those photos and logos, you're going to end up in the promotion or the spam folder. That's why at the beginning we didn't even allow people to even put photos because we wanted to focus on deliverability. And then the photos that we put, we said, well, limit it to one. So you actually, unless you did that copy and paste thing, the little hack that you figured out, there's no way for a person to click and upload a photo, right? Because we know it affects deliverability. It looks pretty, but nobody has ever said, I don't want to book them because I didn't see their logos at the bottom, right? When they go to your website or your LinkedIn, that's where they're gonna make that decision. So I hear what you're saying, but we don't want to have so many features that it just becomes like it's going to affect your results. Hey guys, can we limit the signature photo size to 100 by 100 pixels? Thanks. One second. All right, so I just sent this to them to get that fixed. Let me show you why I'm a firm believer in this. Again, for those who don't know, I send a lot of pitches. And in those pitches that we send for our done for you clients, we have to set up their mailboxes. And over 7 years of doing this, I've learned that this is the standard thing that works. Basic photo, tell them who you are, link to your website, link to your LinkedIn. Anything more than that is overkill. It looks cute, but it's overkill. And we standardize this. We do this for everybody, even for myself. This is what we want to do. He didn't want to use LinkedIn. He wanted his phone number, so we put his phone number there. But we've standardized this, right? Now, why am I a big proponent of this? Let's look here at Mira's campaign, where we use the same thing, right? She's gotten 29 replies from those emails that have gone out because they're getting delivered. You're not getting 29 replies on those emails if people don't trust you. If we go down to Alex Ellis, 86% open rate, 62 replies, right? So all I care about is getting your email delivered. I don't care about how pretty it is. I need it in the inbox. So we will always optimize towards that. A lot of people ain't gonna like it. We know that this works. So we're gonna limit to what we know works. Is that fair? Stephen Boyd, right? Very similar. We want to get them responses, right? So that's what we try to optimize for, getting responses.
Ron, do you recommend, I had an Instantly account, but I closed it. But do you recommend a milkshake or Instantly when we're doing cold pitches like this so that we don't end up jeopardizing our main business email? Or do you think from your customer experience and feedback that it's not required?
For sending emails for us or for you guys?
Like I noticed you're
Outside
using
of us.
Milkshake,
Yeah,
right?
so we use Mailshake Instantly. We got all the different accounts. I test them all. Why? Because we ran an agency where we had to automate these things, right? So in that, you don't use MailChimp to send cold emails. You don't use ActiveCampaign to send cold emails, right?
That's what
So
I'm saying. We should probably, because I'm using my real business email, so they're coming from there and then they're filtering back in when people respond. So you think I should open up my Instant account?
No, Mailshake and Instantly are just sending platforms. You still have to have an email account someplace else. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, but they're typically used to protect your email, right? So people
No. They're just used to send one email at a time. When you send an email through email marketing, which is MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, things like that, if you send 5,000 emails, you click the button, 5,000 emails go out.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
In MailChimp, in Mailshake or Instantly, if I pull up ronstory@gmail, and you can see I said send, every 5 minutes, send this number of emails. I can change that to 1. I don't want it to be 5,000 going out. So, that's why we make people send manually, because we know that it's hard for Google to block one email going to one person. That's why we don't do any of the automations. Overall, we have about 60% open rate on our emails that go out on an individual cadence, right? And we've done that on purpose. It shouldn't take a person more than 20 minutes a day to be effective at doing cold outreach, right? In 20 minutes, you should be able to send out 15 to 20 pitches and move on with your life.
And the milkshake, they're using their real business email, not an additional. Because like when I had Instantly, I had 100 different email accounts that were L. Owens, at something, Lethea C at something, CO at something. And the rationale was since it's cold, if people start marking it as spam, it doesn't negatively affect. But it sounds like you don't have a problem with that. The people aren't marking your emails.
No. Here's the thing. How many emails are you sending per day?
When I was doing that, it was like 20 emails a day.
Per account?
No, it was like 200 emails a day because we weren't using all 100 accounts, but like we set them all up. But I would say 200, but they weren't in bulk. The system was.
Right. Yeah, it sends them one at a time. But the only reason you would need 200 or 100 email accounts is because you're sending 50 from each account.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm a professional at that. I've done this, I've growth hacked for years. Based on what we're doing with SpeakerHUB, all you need is your one SpeakerHUB account. Send in 20 emails a day, you're okay. Send in 50 a day, you're okay. Nothing's going to happen to you. You'll be fine, right? It's when people want to do, I want to send 8,000. Really? How you even going to respond to those? Like I get all this, how you going to respond? If 90 people reply to you, how you going to reply in a quick enough time so that they don't hate you? Right? So it's just like, let's bring it back into the average person doesn't know any of these technical things. And our job at SpeakerHUB is to make it where it works for the average everyday speaker that wants to get on 1 to 2 more states a month on top of what they're already doing, which means that gives them 12 to 24 more speaking gigs a year. That is life-changing for the average speaker. Does that make sense? Now, Lethea, let me put this in context for y'all, because some of y'all don't know why she asking this. Lethea did 173 speaking gigs in her first 12 months. Y'all probably ain't trying to do that, okay? So she has this super technical, out of this world thing because she's doing super technical, out of this world stuff. The average speaker is doing 5 gigs a year. So don't be trying to go get Instantly and all this stuff like Lethea, because you're going to just drive yourself crazy. And we're not going to be Instantly tech support. They don't pay us for that. So, but for the average speaker that wants 1 to 2 more gigs a month, SpeakerHUB is sufficient with the way that we have it set up. Is that fair, Lethea?
Yeah, yes, it is.
Yep. But if you need some help with what you're trying to do over at Instantly, let me know. Because most people don't have enough data to even send that many emails. They don't have enough list. Right? Mm-hmm. Any other questions, guys? We're 5 minutes into overtime. This is our normal time of the day where we hop in and we usually help people out. So if you all have other questions, I'm here to answer them. Hopefully this has been helpful over the last hour. We learned about the Speaker Flywheel. We learned about the power of using podcasts with Christine. Lethea had some very great suggestions about, number one we should do right away, which is fix that picture thing. The other suggestion about the AI, we will promise to get that done before 2030.
I'll ask tomorrow. I'll come back tomorrow, Nas.
No. Overtime is where we stay on. You can stay on as long as you want.
I can access the recording after.
Yes, the recording will be made available. Angela always posts the recordings afterwards. So yes,
Where?
Ange,
I'll put it in the chat.
put what in
Okay.
the chat. She wants the recording for today.
Right.
Yes.
How you gonna put it in the
Oh,
chat?
oh, I thought Antoinette was a part of the ambassadors. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Don't worry.
Yeah, Antoinette, put your email in the chat and Angela email it to you. That's probably the
Okay.
easiest.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Yep. Any other questions, Lethea?
So real quick, I have a list of people that I've identified. Some of these are clients I've done business with before. I want to upload that information.
Yep.
So
Share
when
your screen.
upload it, oh, I haven't, I'm not uploading it right now, but because I'm trying to still format the Excel spreadsheet. Name, is there a certain format? It would be great. You know, some companies say, hey, here's a template to download or whatever. So is it name, email? Can I like say a little bit about the company?
Yep. So what you need 4 basic fields,
Okay.
right? You want the first name, minimum first name. We want to call them by their first name, right? We need the email address because we can't send them an email without the email address. The company name and a description. If you have those 4 things, you're good.
Okay. So I have like, I know this company is blah, 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 or this person is blah, 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 blah. If I put it in the description, AI will take that into
Yep.
account. So I think that's what I needed to know. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. That's how that works. Those 4 fields. If you got those 4 fields.
And if I don't have company, if I don't have that, is that okay?
Yeah, so that's something we debated, right? Because we didn't want people just uploading goofy stuff.
Okay.
So, if you could just
We can
put,
take I can take, if for any ones that I don't have, I can make sure we get it before I upload it. I just didn't know.
yeah. But right now we know those 4 fields are required.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yep.
All righty. I'm good.
Yep.
Till tomorrow.
Anything else, guys? Nicole, good to see you. Lethea, great to see you. Christine, nice to meet you. Hopefully we can help you. If you would like to check out SpeakerHUB Pro, go to speakerhub.com and start a trial. You can try it for 7 days to see if you can get on more podcasts. And we're here to help every single day at